is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Oregon football.
It's about them going on the field and getting better.
He's gone. He's gone. See you later. Touchdown. Ducks.
We want to play with relentless effort. We want to attack the ball at a high level.
Pressure comes. They got him again.
And I want to see those guys playing for each other.
Gives it to James again, and he may go all the way. Goes down the middle. There's Terrance Ferguson. Why not just score?
These guys come to work, man. They're wired the right way. Always about hearing the message, not the tone.
There's no place like Oregon. We do it
Hello.
oriented and just great people.
This is the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Today's broadcast is also brought to you by Country Financial Insurance, protect what matters, and by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks! Drink Pepsi. Now let's go to the Country Financial Studios and talk Oregon Duck football.
We're going to do that ahead of a kickoff at Autzen Stadium against Maryland. I'm Joey Mack in for Jerry Allen tonight. Mike Jorgensen's here, Terrance Ferguson coming up, and head coach Dan Lanning is with us in the Country Financial Studio. It's our Pepsi
Hey, when
coaches
Jerry's
interview.
here, you don't.
He never does it like that. How about that?
I try.
A little applause. I like
Isn't that
it.
nice? Yeah.
Do you feel hyped up now?
I got a little juice.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
I got a little juice.
Can you have a little fun with us tonight?
Let's have some fun.
Okay, are you entertained?
I'm
Do you
I'm
feel entertained?
I'm
All right,
entertained.
Coach, just let us have a little fun with you tonight, shall we?
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you were here?
Well done.
Thank you for that, Coach.
Well done.
Yeah, thank
That's
you
a
for that.
that's what I mean. Top 5 movie.
Oh,
Yeah, oh,
it's
yeah.
up there.
Yeah.
You know they got the new one coming out.
I know. So I had to ask you because I know you're a movie guy.
Yeah.
Is this like you had to inspire the team because the new one's coming out? It's fresh on your mind. You're ready for a sequel. What's going on?
Where'd you
here?
get the idea?
No, we spend a lot of time thinking of messaging. Right. We work with
Right.
different groups, and like Corey Schaefer's a guy that I lean on a lot. We really talked about it this summer. As we were kind of leaning into, okay, what's this going to feel like when we get to this point in the season? What's going to be special about this, place? And obviously, it's the big house, right? So that kind of fit. So, but yeah, we always try to find the theme that fits.
But it's a little bit of football history. I like that you leaned into that, Coach. I mean, it is most fans that an Oregon team has ever played in front of. That's a little bit of history. And you guys got it done. What were some of your takeaways?
Well, I'm just proud of our players, to go out there and execute. And it's been a long time since we've had, a bye week. So you're playing a lot of football back to back to back to back to back. And to be able to go out there and execute on the road, travel 3 time zones to be able to go do that against a good team is fun.
Some adversity, too. Obviously, you guys had during the game, whether it's injury early, whether it's a fumble punt return, and they get the quick score. And you guys went through a lot of adversity in this game and responded really well.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had to deal with, some things, quite like that. For that to be able to show up and our players to handle it well is, a testament to how hard they work.
To that point, too, I mean, a focus this week was handling the environment, as we're kind of talking about. But, going on the road, handling that environment, you did that. How did your team do that this week?
Yeah, just complete focus. I think they did a good job of knowing that the next play is the most important play. I know I say that a lot, but it showed up, in this past game.
And Coach Maringer, I know he'd sent you that text like, hey, you can handle these environments. It's something you talked about with the players heading into it.
Yeah, we get a lot of, that's one thing I'm really proud of with our staff. I think everybody feels like they have a voice and they can share a thought if they have a thought. And, it's something he had come across, and I said that's perfect for what our message is this week. So being able to share that was fun.
A lot of organization goes into an early day trip out there, a little different than most of the trips in that type of deal. How did that piece of it go? Because it's nice to stay in that type of rhythm too, isn't it?
Yeah, just for us, we spent a lot of time this summer saying, okay, what will that look like? How do we want to handle those trips? And talk to some NFL teams, and decided that the best opportunity for us was to go on Thursday after our practice, which our guys handled really well.
We talked about that a little bit, Coach, and I think it's a great example just of veterans. And I said last time that I was on with you on this show that Marcus Harper talked about hydration, those little things, Coach. Just a chance to maybe shout out the staff and everyone that helps make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's it'd be hard to pick the right person. There's a lot of people that make this thing tick, whether it's the way that we travel when it comes to travel operations, whether it's our nutritionists feeding our guys when they're on the road, our equipment staff, our our training staff. There's a lot of people that pour into the results on the field on Saturdays.
Speaking of the equipment staff, what's the crew neck today, Coach?
Yeah, this one's from Kenny. I've had this for a little bit. He always hooks me up with the freshest gear. Yeah. So I've got a couple Queen Ducks here.
Queen Ducks, for the radio audience, it's one of the best-looking playing cards that you're ever going to find. Are you a card player at all?
Not recently. I like playing poker whenever when you can. Yeah.
You a card player or board game player?
Board game with the family.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play poker with my kids.
Yeah, again. Well, not yet, right?
Not yet.
Not yet.
That'd be
That's
fun.
right. I mean,
Go get in a poker
one
tournament.
I feel like they could get there someday.
Maybe.
Coach, too, having a lot of guys coming back. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, Terrance Ferguson's going to join us in the studio tonight. Yeah. Just what a little miniature saga for him over the last few weeks. Nice to have him back out there.
Absolutely. And again, he stepped away, but not because he wanted to.
Right.
You're never planning to have your appendix removed, and he handled that really well. He was out there with us at practice every single day and still in every meeting, and he was the guy that was really anxious to get back. And to be honest, you don't know if he was going to be able to come back at that point.
Yeah.
And he had his jaw set and his mindset that he was going to be able to, and he went out there and he played really well.
How did he feel after the game?
Yeah, he felt good.
Yeah.
And you'll have to ask him.
I will.
It's a lot easier for me to tell you, yeah, he looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked good. I'll tell you that. And he played well.
What has he meant to your team since you've been here, just in his career?
Yeah, I'm just super impressed with Terrance and the job that he's done ever since I've been here. How much he's improved as a player, the kind of leader he is, the way he practices, the toughness that he shows. This guy's played banged up a lot, and you'd never know it because he's probably the guy that's not going to tell you that he needs to go to the training room. Right. He's just the guy that's going to play through it.
Well, Coach, he said, and we're going to talk with him again coming up later on tonight, but he said that was the first football game I feel like he's ever missed in his life.
Well, I mean, he really was practicing while he had issues with his appendix.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Chief coming over to me in practice and be like, hey, something's going on, Terrance. It's kind of bothering him. He finished practice that day, went on, and
right.
we're like, hey, we might want to go get this checked out. So, I mean, he's a tough kid. He is a really tough kid.
And talk about leadership, too. One of the first things that he said, Coach, when we were talking to him about just what it was like, he goes, well, I was really proud of the way that the rest of the tight ends played.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the culture that you want to build.
Yeah, I think he's helped build that culture in that room. And whether it's, Ferg or Pat or Kenyon or Roger, I mean, there's a group of guys in there that love each other and work really, really hard, but they're unselfish guys. And I think he's one of those guys that exude that.
It shows because the way you began the game offensively, and particularly with that outside screen game, the blocking of the tight ends, wide receivers too, but the blocking, that's such a big part of that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something we've challenged ourselves to continue to improve, but those guys did a really good job on the perimeter.
Jordan Birch also coming back.
Yeah.
Nice to have him back, I'd imagine.
Always nice.
How about the guys, too, that filled in for him, Coach? What have you seen from your front? And he said the same thing that T-Ferg did, just, hey, didn't expect a drop-off. You love to hear that from some veterans.
Yeah, no, I think we've had a lot of guys step up, in those moments and play to our standard. We always talk about our standard of play. What do we want it to look like? And regardless who's on the field, upholding that standard. And if you touch the field for us, in my mind, you're a starter, right? And I think a lot of people get concerned about who's on the field first, who cares, right? Like the reality is if you're on the field for us, it means you've done it in practice and you deserve the opportunity.
It's pretty amazing that the quality depth that you have at all positions on defense and on offense too, getting quality snaps, which is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, huge. I mean, I think that's credit to our players and how hard they work to put themselves in those moments.
To that depth point, Coach, like, do you feel like the with the rotation, when we've talked before about how you have that depth, you play so many different scenarios and different players. Has the modern college football player and maybe high school football player started to adapt to that too? Like, you don't have to start. You're going to be in some big-time moments. I know. Is that still a mental challenge for guys?
I'm sure the mature ones have, and the ones that want to be a part of a winning team do. Like, there's a lot of players that will go play somewhere and play 80 snaps a game, but that doesn't mean their team's having the success on the field they need to have. And I think when you can be fresh and have guys play at a high level, the more hands you can have involved, the better.
And I remember we talked earlier in the season about the NFL model, right? So that informs this, I guess. Could you remind fans of that a little bit? Like, there's the amount of snaps that you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, you look at Pro Bowl players, especially on the defensive line in the NFL, you don't want to be the guy that's playing 70 snaps a game, right? And the more snaps you play, the more chance there are there's snaps that you're not really proud of, that they don't look the way you want them to look. So when we can play guys that can play winning football at a high level, and not have a drop-off, bring some other guys in to be able to be part of that rotation. It makes our team better.
Is there ever a snap count? I mean,
yeah, we're always aware. Well, we're always aware of guys where they're at, and what's too many, what's not enough. Try to be conscientious of
What
that.
your defense did a great job of. Third down defense was pretty good in the game. I mean, anytime you can play defense and hold the other team to 50 to 55 offensive plays, you're doing a good job, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's credit to both sides of the ball, right? It means you're controlling. It means you're controlling the clock and controlling possession of the ball. And obviously, we started off the game with some 3-and-outs, and we're able to get them off the field, not give them long sustained drives, and that's going to be a benefit.
Talking about the next man up idea. I mean, we talked about that a little bit with guys kind of filling in. That's over the course of a season, you're going to have that, right? It's easy to say next man up, coach. It's harder to have that exercised in practice. How has your team embraced that? How have you as a coaching staff fostered that mentality?
Our players, I just got to give credit to our players. I mean, I think they work really hard, and you don't always know exactly what it'll look like, but you want to be ready when your opportunity comes. And I don't think that's human nature. I think human nature is when my turn comes, I'm gonna go take advantage of it, and I don't work really hard to get to that point. Our guys work really hard, and some of them have got to see the benefit of that, and some of them haven't. But that doesn't discredit the ones that have worked really hard and maybe haven't had their opportunity yet.
Trayshawn Holden, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just play hard, and all of a sudden there you are. And the opportunities present
themselves. Made some big plays in that game.
Yeah.
To that point too, Coach. Talking about Trayshawn, like I thought Dylan Gabriel, his post-game comments, he showed some real leadership. Talking about, hey, Trayshawn has his moment. He comes back and does something great for your team. That's got to feel good as a coaching staff.
Yeah, we got great leaders right now. We got great leaders, got a really good team, and certainly guys that care about each other and love each other.
I know we've talked about Dylan Gabriel probably every other week, and maybe even every week type of deal, but he's a big play, big game type of guy. He's played in a lot of big games. Here was another big game, and just ice in his veins all game long, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got great. He's been great all year for us. I think anybody watching him play should recognize that we're getting to watch one of the best quarterbacks in the nation right now.
Yeah.
Quick timeout. We're going to come back. It's our Pepsi coaches interview. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. Dan Lanning's here. I'll do a round of applause again when we come back to the Country Financial Studio. Toyota Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially, like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give duck fans more for the things they care about, more for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
Dear autumn leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Go Ducks!
It's made, turn, don't deny me the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Oregon football from Learfield.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, Toyota Coaches Show, our Pepsi Coaches interview. Dan Lanning is here. You fired up again?
I'm fired up.
All right. We don't need to play the Are We Entertained again, though, right?
No.
Has anyone told you, though, you look a bit like Russell Crowe?
No.
I got to tell you, Coach. Coach, I have to tell you. So when I was like, we have to do something with this. It's going to be fun. Like Scott did great work just putting the picture on there. And I was like, Coach, you could fit it. You could do it in Gladiator 2.
Yeah, with the beard.
Yeah, I don't know.
The coaching thing works pretty good.
Yeah, that's been fun.
To that point, there's been a lot of fans that have talked with us about this and just your positive emotional feedback that you gave in your post-game interview, talking about the culture and just the love that you have for this team, Coach. I want to read you something. Rosemary in a comment right now just said, "We are so fortunate to have this amazing coach loving our team." You hear things like that. How does that make you feel as a leader of this program?
Well, I feel just as blessed to get the opportunity to do what I do, right? I think there's a lot of people who would love to sit in the seat that I get to sit in, and I'm certainly fortunate that I get that opportunity.
Culture takes work, though, doesn't it? And you guys do a lot of work, a lot of prep, and the team works hard to make sure that culture is consistent.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on it, but it's really about the team. Our team does an unbelievable job of embracing it, and I think they realize it matters.
One piece of that culture, too, that I wanted to ask you about, and it can really impact the team positively, negatively, penalties. Yeah. Have you been happy with keeping penalties in check? You want 0, but a low number.
Well, we had too many in practice today, so up, downs work. That's kind of what we figured out. But no, our guys take some pride in it, and it's certainly improved this season. It's been something that's been good for us.
Balance on offense, and you had it again. And that was really a key in this game, is to be able to run the ball against Michigan. But you just continue to have the balance on offense, and it really keeps defenses off balance, doesn't it?
Yeah, ultimately I think we've said it on here before that you don't want to be a team that plays left-handed if somebody takes away your strength. So when you're able to do multiple things, it makes it challenging.
Left-handed quarterback.
Yeah, I guess you do want to play left-handed.
I want to play left-handed. You want to play ambidextrous?
I don't want to play left-handed, yeah.
He has. Hey, by the way, he does have a right-handed touchdown pass this year, right? Did you and you knew that, right?
Okay, yeah.
He'll be able to say it one day.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Now, your team, though, Coach, talk about balance. Like, really, your team does play ambidextrous to a point, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how valuable is it to be able to do that? I know that's an obvious football question, but just having the balance that you have.
Yeah, valuable. Like I said, you don't want somebody to be able to take away your strength, so you hope that you have multiple strengths, and I'd say our team has that right now.
I wanted to ask you, too, about Evan Stewart makes a highlight-level catch.
Yeah, big one.
Then a penalty, I'm talking about penalties, takes it off. But for your team to then, talk about adversity earlier, Jorgie did, to then go down and score. Those sorts of things. How big is that for your team?
It's tough to do.
Yeah, we always talk about what's it going to look like when it's not easy, right? What's it going to look like when you do face adversity? So some things don't always go your way. You might make a mistake in the moment, but can you recover from it? Our team's been able to do that.
We talked about the depth and on defense, and I want to go back to that a little bit because it's not just a defensive line of linebackers that you're rotating through, but the corner opposite of Jabbar Muhammad, whether it's Nico Reed or whoever it might be. They're playing really well on that side, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say our secondary is playing really well right now. And I think if you asked our secondary, they'd tell you that our rush is doing a really good job to create that for them. So, whether it's Nico or Dante or Kobe or Taishim, just in general, BJ, we've had a lot of great play back there this year for us.
Maryland coming up. What's the report on the Terps in town?
Yeah, talented team. They have one of the best passing attacks we've seen this season. Certainly some great wideouts outside and a quarterback that can deliver it to them. On defense, they're aggressive. They load the box up. So it's going to be a fun matchup for us.
Jabbar Muhammad and Nico Reed both talked to the media this week, and that's a challenge for defensive backs, right? Yeah. Probably a challenge and an opportunity that they like. I imagine that they do, the veterans out there.
Well, I think any great player wants to be challenged, and there's certainly a challenge this week with some of the guys that we get to face, so it'll be fun to see our guys attack it.
Yeah, you mentioned 2 receivers, and you think Tez Johnson has lots of catches, and they have a guy that has more. They have 2 guys that have close to 120 combined, which is pretty amazing. Coach Loxley, talk about him a little bit. He's done a great job there at Maryland.
Yeah, great offensive mind, a guy that I've gained some appreciation with in my time. We've kind of crossed paths at different times, but he's a really talented coach and does a good job.
Similarly, he was very complimentary of you, Coach Lupoy, and your defense in creating havoc. Yeah. That's one of those stats I know that and descriptors in football makes a huge difference. How have you been able to create all that havoc that he was complimentary of this week?
Well, I think you get what you emphasize, right? So the percentage of plays where we can create a negative play for the offense, that's when you get your havoc rate up, that's going to lead to success on every other down and other situations.
Next game up, regardless of whether Oregon's ever played Maryland, which they never have, next game up for you guys, and it's another opportunity, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach, Toyota Coaches Show. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Can we just don't play the? Oh, that's right. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. I was gonna say, I'm telling you, the Russell Crowe, it could work, Coach. You could be the stand-in.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. Coach Lanning, thanks for being here. Good
Appreciate
luck
you
this
guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Quick timeout. We're going to come back. Terrance Ferguson will be with us talking tight ends. A whole lot of other stuff coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, On Point is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways On Point can help support your financial well-being. On Point Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Wherever you are in life, once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has helped the University of Oregon community take flight financially, like our remarkable checking and duck debit card that give duck fans more for the things they care about, more for the game, more for gear, more for a bright future. Earn interest, show your duck devotion, and start earning more today. Learn more at myoccu.org/getduckdebit.
Your home for Duck football.
Dump a short pass, it's intercepted. Oh, what a throw, what a catch. Pressure, steps up, goes down.
The Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Kids ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember. Back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son?
Back on the Toyota Coaches Show, a veteran of the Country Financial Studio is here, Terrance Ferguson. Ladies and gentlemen, does anyone call you Terrance at practice?
No, I don't think I've heard Terrance ever around the facility
since
I was a freshman. Yeah, I don't think it's...
So it's just always been T-Ferg.
Yep, it's T-Ferg or Ferg.
Were you T-Ferg growing up all the time?
No. Because obviously my whole family's Ferguson, so it's not, you don't really get the Ferg there.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah, you don't know who you're talking to. And then my little cousin, my aunt, they all actually have T names as well, so it's...
That wouldn't work.
Wouldn't work, yeah.
So you were always Terrance. Who named you T-Ferg here?
Oh, I don't even know. And I think a lot of people didn't even realize my name was Terrance. I remember Ajax, who was on the team a while back. He thought my name was like Tyler or something. Some people, there's probably some people on the team that don't even know my actual name. So,
well, it's just T-Ferg.
Yeah, it's just T-Ferg to him.
It's just T-Ferg. Okay, so I mentioned that you're a veteran, and it's a tradition. The first time you come on the show for your 2-minute life story. Do you want to do your final 2-minute life story tonight?
Yeah, we could get it after a 2-minute life story.
Okay.
Last one.
All right, last one. The revised version of the 2-minute life story. Terrance Ferguson, go.
I'm from Denver, Colorado. I'm in a big family, small house. I got 2 older brothers, 2 younger brothers. Grew up in the church, big in faith. I played football, basketball, a little bit of lacrosse growing up. Went to Heritage High School, and then God put his hands on everything and ended up at University of Oregon. Stayed at the University of Oregon this will be my 4th year now.
Woo!
And that's been blessed to just be a part of this program. Oh, I got engaged. That's a new one. I can add that. I can add that to the 2-minute life story.
That's good.
Helps it out a little bit.
44.6. You have always been an efficient man in that regard. Congratulations, though.
Appreciate it.
That's
Thank you.
exciting. Do we have a date? Do we know yet?
Next time in the summer, we're still trying to figure out with the NFL stuff.
Right.
We don't know what the schedules look like, so kind of waiting. But
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations. How'd you do it? How'd you propose?
We during the break we went up to Telluride in Colorado, and we kind of went up there as all our family, and just we were supposed to be taking pictures for some Instagram
Air
thing.
quotes.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
And then just kind of happened there, and it was perfect. So
well done. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
To go back to talking about your family, what was it like growing up? Were you always competitive? When did you know you were going to play football? Let's ask that question again.
Yeah, I've always been competitive. Growing up in a big house, all boys. So, it's competitive no matter what you're doing. It's competitive for the last slice of pizza, if that's what it is. So, growing up, we always competed in everything. And then, honestly, I thought I was going to play basketball, and that was my first love, really. And then I'd probably say I wanted to play football. I knew that's what I wanted to do. Probably high school, freshman year of high school, I kind of had a growth spurt. They let me finally touch the ball and not just block people. And that's really when I fell in love with it, and that's what I wanted to do.
Are you the best athlete in the family?
Yes, by far.
Yeah, by far.
By far. My dad will probably say he is, and he's a big guy. He's 6'6", 300-something pounds, and can move really well. Probably not anymore, but in his prime, I actually will admit he might have been up there with me, but I got the little bros and the big bros beat.
All right. Now, I want to settle a long-standing question that's come up. You know where I'm going? Okay.
Yeah.
So your name often comes up if we would have a starting five from the Oregon football team on a basketball court. Your name over the years has come up a lot. Probably since your sophomore year, it kept coming up because I ask this question all the time. So I've got two for you to settle things once and for all.
Okay.
First, what's the starting five of this year's roster that's going to win the most games? And then I want to know in your career, the all-time
squad
starting five on the basketball floor. Let's start this year.
Yeah, this year, I haven't really seen too many people hoop this year. We kind of have a lot of new faces around. I'm going Old Faithful with Pat.
Yep.
Pat down in the post, so he'll probably be my five.
Old Faithful,
yeah,
huh?
Old Faithful. You can count on Pat Herbert. And
that's right.
So I'm gonna get him at the 5. I'll probably run like the .4. Let me think.
Look at that, the .4, not even.
Yeah, I'm bringing the ball up, kind of .4 type thing. And then let's see who else can. I don't know anybody who could shoot this year, honestly. I've watched a couple of just little pickups, and I might get Evan Stewart at the 2.
Yeah.
He's an athletic freak and does some things. You might get 3 tight ends in here. Kenyon, lockdown defender.
You support your position group.
And he's an elite athlete, too. I just don't know if he can dribble with his left hand or I don't know.
We're going to find out.
He'll play some great defense and go up and grab some rebounds, though.
You need that.
And I wish I could put Dylan at the point, but he is terrible at basketball. Worst jump shot I've ever seen. So he can't make the cut.
The lefty doesn't do it, huh?
No, he shoots like OG Lonzo Ball, brings it up around the whole world, So he's not on the team at all.
So we know who's not on the starting 5.
Yeah.
All right.
The last one at the point. I don't know.
Maybe you're going to play big.
I might go Tez. We might go Tez. Tez. I've watched Tez play. He could play some hoops. So
I thought you'd just go big. You just play the 1.
I'm bringing it up. But
right.
Every once in a while, when I get tired, I'll let him bring it up. I'll go get in the post. I could do both.
So that's this year. Now, this has come up a lot. There's been I didn't know that this was going to become this question that I ask all the time, and now here we are. So all time in your Oregon career, the basketball starting 5. You're obviously the team captain.
Yep.
Who you got?
Starting 5. I'm trying to think of. We've had I've played with a lot of guys now over the years. Who else do we have that would be? I think I'm taking Old Faithful.
Old Faithful.
Pat at the 5, me at the 4. The rest of the people though, I got a lot of friends that left the school that were pretty good players. Honestly, I'm taking Mo at the 3.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a big 3 through 5.
More tight end love.
I'm going Bo at the 1.
Bo
was a good point guard.
Yeah.
He could shoot a little bit, so that was something we missed from this year. And then at the 2, I'm going to throw Ty Thompson, my good friend.
There it is.
He was a spot-up shooter. He couldn't make a layup to save his life. Still can't. But he'd sit in the corner. He's like a spot-up shooter. He actually shot probably better from 3 than anywhere close to the rim.
So we're going 2 QB, 3 tight end.
Yep.
Starting 5. You know, when I ask defensive players, you won't be surprised to hear this. It's often defensive backs and 1 or 2 D linemen.
That probably doesn't surprise me at all. You know, that's the guys that usually could play basketball.
Do you get a lot of, when you guys do play over the time that you've played, is it often offense, defense? How do the teams come together?
It depends on who's all there. Sometimes it's offensive, defense. I think honestly it just kind of gets scrambled in there, like whoever, and you just kind of people try to build the best teams, and they don't realize there's only one ball, and a lot of guys want to shoot the ball or just go at the rim and chuck it up. I don't know if I'd call it shooting, but
this is why
every time I've played, I pick certain people that don't want the ball. They're just going to play defensive rebound because you need those guys. And we had a 3-on-3 tournament my sophomore year, and it was Trevin May.
Okay, yeah.
And he did not want to touch the basketball.
Yeah.
He played great defense, grabbed rebounds, and passed it as soon as it touched him.
Really?
He's a great team player.
Look, you need that, though.
You do.
You do need that. Okay, so over the years, this has come up, as I said, a lot. If you're not playing basketball, what else has the team played the most in your career? Boy.
Yeah, that's tough, honestly.
Because it's always basketball? Is that what
I
it
would
is?
say most of the time it's basketball. There's some people, like, when we have barbecues or everyone gets together, usually there's a basketball court. Some people go there.
Yeah.
That's usually where I find myself.
As one does.
Yeah. And then there's some of the guys are playing cornhole. You know, you got, like, Austin Novosad, I know, is really good at cornhole. He's over there running the tables.
Okay, all right.
It's just kind of a mixed bag, you know, just kind of all around. There's some cornhole going on. People are playing cards. Some people just all the poly guys get in the pool every time.
Yeah.
They love that. So every time we get a chance to go to the pool, they're getting in there and tearing up the pool.
Yeah, I understand. Now, and then you put the basketball hoop in the pool.
Yeah, and then it gets real. It gets real physical.
Yeah.
Pool basketball is a whole different game. Different starting 5 for that, for sure.
I can imagine. All right, Terrance Ferguson, when we come back, if you let me, I want to go down memory lane a little bit more with you. Talking with T-Ferg, Terrance. I can both names, right? We got to go both.
Anything's good for me.
Terrance Ferguson, we're coming back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, On Point is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways On Point can help support your financial well-being. On Point Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
Go Ducks!
Go Ducks! Give it to me, baby! My house! I'm taking it there!
This is Oregon football from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now, so good to see you real.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, the Toyota Coaches Show, a veteran again of the Toyota Coaches Show, Terrance Ferguson, joining us. I'm glad that we could finally settle the all-time starting five. And if you want to revise it, just let me know.
Okay.
We'll set the record straight at some point. Have you yet thought about like that it's coming to an end at Autzen? Has it started to sink in for you yet?
Yeah, it unfortunately has. You know, I was just talking with my fiance actually about senior night and the last one in Autzen.
Got a plan. Get it ready.
A little bit. She was just kind of asking me what she should wear, so I guess that's more of her plan, less of mine.
That's important, though.
Yeah.
Those pictures last a long time.
No, they do.
Yeah. I can only imagine what that's like. And then if I could go back with you a little bit, like you had the chance to go and play professionally, decided to come back and play here at Oregon this year. Go back in time. What was going through T. Ferg's mind at that point?
Man, it was a lot. We just really was going into the bowl game, making that decision. And, I was very split. Honestly, I was out the door.
Really?
Prayed about it, spent some time with my family and talked to the coaches and everyone. And, it really just got put on my heart, to come back another year and just be a part of something special. I always said I came to Oregon to win. And, unfortunately, we've fallen short a couple of times of winning some championships and some big games. And so I felt unfulfilled in some of that, and so decided to come back. But it was a hard decision because your dream growing up is always to play in the NFL, and it's right in front of you.
Right.
But decided to come back, and super grateful for the opportunity to even be able to come back.
On behalf of all Duck fans, we're glad that you came back. We're very glad that you came back. Now, especially after what you just went through, talking about an injury that had nothing to do with football. So what the heck happened? Tell fans about it.
Yeah, it's crazy because it was a Tuesday. Woke up. I'm here pretty early every day, and I drove in, and I had a little bit of stomach pain, but I just thought it was normal. Practiced that day with the appendicitis, and I just thought it was a little bit of stomach pain.
A little bit.
And then
appendicitis is a little bit of stomach pain.
And so I went in and kind of got it checked out, and there's no other symptoms at all, like no fever, no throwing up, nothing at all, just like pain in that area. And thank God, and it's really a God thing. We were about to leave in 2 days to Purdue, and that's a long flight.
Yeah.
So they're like, well, let's just get it checked out, get a CAT scan because it's in that area. And they found it and immediately went to the ER, got it taken out, and everything went smoothly. But it was kind of crazy because it was, just a little bit of stomach pain, I thought.
Right,
and then,
right.
Next thing, you're getting it taken out.
Yeah. I can only imagine. And again, just a little bit of stomach pain. Right, Coach was in here before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said Terrance practiced with that.
Yeah,
and you said those were the first games you think you've ever missed.
I really do think so. Even in my whole career, I know here at Oregon I haven't missed a game. And then high school, I've had injuries, but it always happens in the off season. Missed some basketball games, missed some stuff like that, but I don't think I've missed a football game until appendicitis.
T-Ferg, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Honestly, even going back to when you were a little kid.
Pee-wee center days, yeah.
Yeah. So you were playing offensive line, right? That's what I remember there.
I played center and defensive line.
Yeah. But then it was the basketball handles that gave you the good hands to play tight end.
Yeah, actually, it really was playing basketball, just going up and rebounding.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really, when I was younger, you get stuck in the post if you're the biggest guy.
Right,
so.
Yeah. And that's you.
Yeah,
yeah
it was definitely me.
Yeah. How much has the tight end position as a whole changed since you started playing football? Like, because you and I've talked about this before, that I think it's the most versatile and maybe the most changed position in football in the last 20 years. What do you think now I'm going to call you a tight end expert because you are now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's changed a lot from, I think it used to be just kind of the extra offensive lineman who could leak into the flat sometimes. Now it's a lot of guys who can stretch the seam. A lot of athletic freaks are picking up the position, and like you said, versatile. And I think tight ends are getting a little more recognition thanks to some of the big names in the NFL who are kind of pushing it. And it's a weird group of people that kind of all come together all the time. I feel like the tight end room I've always been a part of is always close. They got the tight end university thing in the NFL, and it's a group that sticks together, some unique personalities. And but the position in football has changed a lot. There's guys that are mismatches now and number one receivers on teams, not just, the check down guy.
Right. And it used to be like it was a red zone threat.
Yeah,
now
red
it's
zone.
all the time.
Yeah, now it's everywhere.
Yeah. All right, I got to ask you about Old Faithful. What's it been like playing with Patrick Herbert so many years?
Man, it's been a blessing. Pat's an amazing human being off the field, and then on the field, like you said, he's Old Faithful. And
let me correct you. You said it.
Yeah, I did say it, but that's Pat in a nutshell. He shows up to work. He works hard every day. He does what he's supposed to do, and there's no questions asked about it. He just gets to work, and being able to watch a guy like that work and just some of the adversity he's gone through, and he just shows up every day and he's the same person every day, day in, day out. And I look up to him. He works super hard, and he's battled so much adversity on the football field, off. And he just shows up and he works. That's Pat.
You're a leader on this team. Tell fans about the rest of your tight end group. We saw what Kenyon Sadiq's been up to. What's the rest of the group been like this year?
Man, the group's been special. I'm super proud of the guys, especially the young guys. Me and Pat have kind of been the leaders of that group. And guys like Kenyon who are going on his second year, and he's, like everyone's seen, he's an athletic freak and he has all the potential in the world. But he's stepped up, and he's played a lot of good football for us. Our young guy, Roger, he does every special teams under the book, and I'm proud of him for that. He goes out there and works his tail off every day in special teams and makes an impact on this team. Even some of our other younger guys like Pug, I call him Pug, AJ, and he gets after it, and those guys have won countless times of like Scout Team Player of the Week, and they come in and work their butt off. And I always say every year I feel like these guys get better coming out of high school. I don't know where they find them. But they're definitely better than I was at that time. They're smarter and just got their heads on straight when it comes to football, especially. Like those guys come in, they're professionals. They take good notes, and I'm proud of the group. And I think we're gonna have a good tight end room for a while with those guys.
Oh, you're a big reason why, Tiefer.
Well, I appreciate it.
Quick timeout if I can. I got one more fun thing for you. We're gonna talk uniforms.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Terrance Ferguson with us. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, On Point is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by your local branch today and discover the many ways On Point can help support your financial well-being. On Point Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Autumn Leaves, you won't be covering roads alone this season. Take on fall in the powerful Toyota Tundra or tackle trails in a Tacoma. Head to Toyota.com for more info. Toyota, let's go places.
More Duck football comes your way in 60 seconds.
Turns and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Oregon. Touchdown, Ducks.
On the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I lack a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
Final segment with Terrance Ferguson, T-Ferg, with us here in the Country Financial Studio. It is the Toyota Coaches Show. All right, I've asked you this before, and I'm curious if the answer's changed. We'll trip down memory lane now. If you could give your 17-year-old self some advice, what are you telling 17-year-old T-Ferg? Actually, at that point, it would have been, what are you telling 17-year-old Terrance?
Yeah. Honestly, it's probably the same thing I said before of just, putting your head down and working. I think probably the biggest thing I would say now is not caring about the opinion of others and comparing yourself to other people. We just had a chapel, and he talked about how comparison is the thief of joy, and that just really hits home when you're looking at other people's plate, you're not eating your own, and so that's something I think I'd probably tell 17-year-old Terrance.
I like it. All right, now if there's maybe a recruit or two watching out there tonight, what's the guy who has spent his career at Oregon's pitch? Why do you come play at the University of Oregon?
Man, there's so much I could say about Oregon. One, I'd say if you want to come play football, high-level football, Coach Lanning has done a great job of turning this program, and it's always been a great program. I committed before Lanning was even here. But we win football games. We're going to play at the highest level. And I think some of the biggest things that Coach Lanning brings is, like, every day he's himself. He's true to who he is. He's not just a recruiter. He's that coach at every practice, every meeting. That's who he is. And he's not just someone who puts on this face for recruiting. And he really, truly cares about the players he has. And I think that's special. He's someone who he's a family guy. He treats us all like family. And he's a young guy who brings a lot of energy to practices. And definitely some energy.
I was going to say, definitely some energy. And if I could, uniforms.
Yep.
So this week, T-Ferg was the uniform model. Have you seen the photos yet?
Yeah, I did.
All right. So what's a photo shoot like for the guys that get asked to be the uniform photo shoot model?
Yeah, they're fun. I've been a part of it a couple times now, and they do a great job of making the photos look good. They tell me stand there, and I'm literally just standing there right there. But no, it's a lot of fun. You put on the uniform, you get to see it a little early before all the other guys, and you get a little show out a little bit for everyone, and it's a lot of fun though. We do a great job here. Obviously, everyone knows us for the uniforms, and they do a great job week in and week out of making it special, and it's a lot of fun to be part of.
Favorite uniforms of your career?
Oh, I would say probably last year's throwback.
All right.
That's probably my favorite. One of my favorites early on was we went black, green, black, and that was one that I didn't like at first when the photo shoot came out.
Really?
And then once we put it on all together, I really liked the black, green, black.
Okay. Is that your sophomore year?
We wore it twice. We wore it my freshman year against Arizona here,
Okay. Yeah.
and then we also wore it Colorado last year
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the color changing cleats, and those were pretty cool. I probably have to say those two that stick out. I don't know. There's so many. Like the eggshell when we wore the nightmare pants was pretty cool. There's been a lot of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, now, after you're a millionaire, you play in the NFL for a long time, then what are you going to do?
Man, I'd like to coach football, high school football. I don't want to get into the college scene at all. I'd like to just give back to my community and the people who built me up. I think high school you can reach the kids at a young age, and I know I've had some good high school coaches that have really shaped me into the person I am. And so I'd like to just be able to give back, and then hopefully have a good family and just go live somewhere and be quiet and kind of duck off.
I like it. Terrance Ferguson, T-Ferg, thanks for being a duck.
No, appreciate you guys.
Thanks for being here tonight. Terrance Ferguson, everybody. For real, T-Ferg, thanks for the time. Thanks for everything.
Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the rest of the ride. A long ride that's still ahead.
Yeah.
Senior day, it's just another day.
Yeah, it's just another stop.
That's right. All right. We're going to get a timeout when we come back. Jorgie's Keys to the Game here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
August was born 3 pounds, 9.8 ounces. When I first saw him, it was a whole range of emotions. There's stuff I still want to do. Being a young dad, it's not giving up. It's shifting. I looked through his eyes. I can envision a whole future with him already. To throw the first football to him, give him ice cream for the first time. My life is now devoted to his life.
Through all of fatherhood's firsts, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been to
Oh, T-Ferg was great. Absolutely phenomenal. Joey Mack, Mike Jorgensen, back with you. We're in the Country Financial Studio. It's the Toyota Coaches Show. Jerry Allen out on assignment. He'll be back with us on Friday to make some picks, but he doesn't really need to. He's down by 5.
You know what? Hats off to him, I guess. For taking chances last week. He took a lot of chances last week, and he didn't have to. I'm glad he did.
I mean, he kind of had to.
Because I'm glad he paid for it.
That's
but
right. That's right.
Jerry, we could pick on him while he's not here, right?
We miss you, buddy. T-Ferg, though, great to see him play.
I just obviously for all the student athletes who play football, you wish the very best for them, not only while they're here, but beyond. That's one of those guys. He came back an extra year, didn't have to come back another year, and he's a tremendous tight end. Hasn't scored a touchdown yet this year.
I know. Isn't that wild?
I mean, came inches this last week, but hasn't scored a touchdown yet, and yet I want to see a guy like that succeed. I mean, you want to see him be able to take it to the next level, be a millionaire like you're talking about, and then have a good life because he's really earned it. Very respectful young man, and the future's bright for him in life anyway.
I mean that. I mean, in the NFL, right? Have a long career.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And I think it's fun for me to talk with a guy who played a lot young in his career, and he's just been so steady and a consistent weapon. And especially in today's college football, having someone who chooses to come back, felt unfulfilled, he said, to go on a ride like the Ducks are on right now. Here's to a long ride, huh?
That extra year means something, too. I mean, not just to Duck fans and the Duck team, but from a maturity standpoint, strength, and everything else, because when you take it to that next level, it's a grown man's game.
No doubt. Maryland coming to town, 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock pregame show. What do you think?
Looking forward to it. Get after that QB. They like to throw it. That's where most of the yards and most of the points come from, so get after the QB. And I think you're going to be in good shape.
Ducks have done a really good job containing quarterbacks lately. Jamari Caldwell talked about that this week, that they've maintained the cage. Got to do that again.
Yeah, they do. And the 2 receivers that have 120 catches between the 2 of them, which is a lot of catches.
Right.
That just tells you how much they throw it. So if you get after the quarterback and not give big plays on first, second down, early downs, I think you can really get after the quarterback. Get some sacks in this game. No sacks last week. Actually 1, I think it was officially, but get after them, and I think that's going to be the key.
2 o'clock pregame show. We'll see all of you at Autzen Stadium. Ducks hosting the Terps for the first time ever. See ya.
This has been the Oregon Football Coaches Show on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Presented by Toyota. Let's go places. Tonight's show has also been brought to you by Country Financial Insurance. Protect what matters. And by Pepsi and Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks. Drink Pepsi. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.